It's the book of Luke, chapter 12. The point is verse 51. Luke chapter 12 and verse 51, and it reads, Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquat out there listening and learning, Lord, willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations who don't subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. That's Brother Yawasop, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired through the Holy Spirit. On basically a lesson another brother did. He brought out some information that I wasn't aware of. So I decided to do something with it, because it's significant to the point, showing you the division that's in its place, and showing you how Yahweh Shai Mashiach truly is the one bringing the division. When you're reading the Gospels, I can't think of the exact book at the moment, and I'm not going to look it up, but it talks about when Yahweh Shai would often speak to the crowds, you'd have the crowd divided. You have half believing, you have a portion of the crowd that believed him, and you had a portion that was rejecting him, And the scriptures talk about how he was set up to be the stumbling block to the rise and fall of many in Israel, roughly paraphrased. Because based on you not believing him, pretty much set up your your judgment. That's deep. I can only imagine that. You tell me with the truth. But when I take the time and really meditate on, think about the elders. They coming with the truth. Yet still, this is the pure doctrine. This is the truth, and then you got individuals that's carnal that only see, numbers or see the color scheme of their garments, or they see, because the Lord look like He's making moves. Everything that look good ain't good. They talking about the numbers, or where your fruit at, that's like trying to prophesy. The elders don't prophesy in the hood because, you don't want to corrupt. You don't want a corrupt thing. Me, myself, I constantly think about it. I don't know what the Lord doing. It's a reason why He got us prophesying, but you got to take time to think about it. Yasher Allah is becoming infamous. They on major platforms. That guy, Wes Huff or whatever. He on Joe Rogan. That's like that's a major platform. So best believe Israel is being promoted all day. So it ain't like, so I don't know what the Lord do. Maybe we ain't ready. I remember brother making a statement saying how, pretty much, all of us got to be in the same spirit of unison of wanting this place destroyed, which make a lot of sense. But then that vision that brother had when he said, a lot of men had on worldly attire, that meant that, spiritually in my mind, that they were still in the world. So are you sure you really, do you got one foot in the world and one foot in the truth? A lot of shit being exposed right now. I'd have held on to, that situation until the Lord took me out. You know what I mean? But the Lord had that be revealed all based on a fucking lie. And then my character is being judged, which I know I'm not completely right, but none of us is fucking right. Don't you get that? That's what we supposed to be repenting daily. It made me think of the elder. He said the first thing he do is get up and he pray. I'm just grateful, like I said, I'm in a rock and a hard, I'm between a rock and a hard place. You ever heard that saying? I'm just glad I still got the spirit because I recognize what Jake be saying and all that. I'm like, damn, I got to sit back and endure that. And I tried my damnedest not to say nothing. Where was you at, Jake, when I was going through this shit? You know what I'm saying? The elder said it himself. We ain't to be liked. You supposed to be basically, you in charge of Jake's souls, of his salvation. Again, trust me, I don't want to be pretty much like lorded over, but at the same time, discipline is involved in anything, you know. I respect authority, if you didn't know, you know. That's why I fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And I do recognize the men that the Lord is dealing with. That's why I recognize the true leaders of Israel. And that being said, you know, again, I pray the Lord take that spirit off me. Like I said, again, I mean, again, if I'm already look like, I'm going to say this much and I'm going to leave the shit alone. If Jake already pretty much came with their opinion, which is an opinion, that's why I put myself in the hands of the Lord. You know, that's who's going to have mercy ultimately at the end of the day, or he's not. If I'm a lost soul or cause, why the fuck is you following my videos? The Lord brought division within the thing, and division is a good thing sometimes. You know, scriptures talk about cut off a long disease, you know. I recognized enough that I stopped talking to Jake. It was a Jake reaching out, and I cut him off. So I don't corrupt nothing. You got Jake don't even realize that the Spirit's talking about push harder. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth, I tell you nay, but rather division. So this is the Lord. And like I said again, let me think about the account where the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua was talking to Israel, and his very words divided the people. That's how much division he coming with. But this is significant, this whole article that the brother brought out, because it says officials stop release of January 6th inmates following Trump pardon, which is significant due to the point, this is the president, the highest man on the planet, right? And at the end of the day, you know, they're not adhering to what this man's saying. Showing you it's just like so much division, and this is gonna cause a lot of shit. You know what I mean? These people, like scriptures talk about, it's certain scriptures that just pop in your spirit. So my thing is this. I mean, I understand the scriptures talk about, you know, being edifying, with the Lord dealing with who he dealing with. You know, at the end of the day, instead of being concerned about my lessons, why don't you be concerned about the men that ain't doing their lessons? It says Washington, D.C. police pushed back the supporters of January 6th detainees after it became clear that not all prisoners will be immediately released following President Donald Trump's pardon. But the thing is, they released who they wanted to release immediately, like the leader of the Proud Boys, which I constantly say he got to be a fucking Freemason or something like that. Just like that dude, Grandmaster Jay, that was running to be the president. Then he became like the head of this militant organization. I wonder if they released him. I should look into that. I don't know if he went to jail like they were speaking on it and then out the blue, they just stopped speaking on him. But I wouldn't be surprised. You know, and I bring up a quick testimony because, you know, he pretty much released all the people that helped him, like when they rioted, you know, they talking about he kept to his word, talking about doing that. I was there, you know, I was homeless at the time when he was running against his cousin, Hillary, right? And he shut down the city. He probably did that at every city he visited, but he definitely did it in Cleveland. You know, at the time, they had the exercises, the Jade Hill exercises, so they was flying them planes. And, I mean, I'll never forget, you know, I wasn't with people, but you be amongst people. That was another reason why I would be so adamant about the behavior of certain individuals within the camp, because one person can make everybody look bad. Anyhow, or if the one man is not in the proper spirit, that can affect everybody else. So that's why I removed myself for real. Because shit was making it seem like I was going to go off, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be a hypocrite, an actor. You know, if I'm the demon, let the Lord deal with me. And if the Lord going to choose to have mercy, you know, let the Lord have that. You know, at the end of the day, ultimately it's all the will of the Lord. So you can have an opinion. I can have one. I've done a lot of off shit, but the difference between me and men that I've been around, I've apologized. You know, Jake say, "Oh, repent to the Lord." Yeah, but you don't supposed to offend a brother either, right? Why is it certain scriptures get brought out, Salakia? Because it's really like it's disheartening for real. And that's why it's so beautiful that the Lord revealing this. And again, I know how the Lord created me. I'm a brother. I mean, I seen brothers actually give brothers clothes off their back. And then I questioned it now, like, damn, was that sincere? Then that's just like that deep when you take time to think about it. This same man that everybody like, oh, this was a great brother. Now he put on blast and looking stupid as fuck. I didn't do that. The Lord did that. So don't be mad at me. Be mad at the Lord. Because when I said the Lord told me to be quiet, brothers will tell you I'm the most opinionated brother in the camp. But the Spirit told me, be quiet. Says Washington, D.C. police pushed back the supporters of January 6 detainees after it became clear that not all prisoners would be immediately released following President Donald Trump's pardon. That should have immediately went into effect. He got into office, what's that, January 20th? He starts signing releases and executive orders that very same day. We on the 23rd now. How are you still holding people? So that matters a lot. It makes you think about like how the elder put out a decree of every man doing a video. Well, I'm going to make the statement again. I'm in the background listening and watching a lot of videos because that's how I deal with, because I hate my life. That's how I deal with this shit, this hellhole. That's why I think that, brothers that's really focused and I is single on this truth. That's why we're not bombarded with all the psyops and, we ain't taken over by all the witchcraft because we focused on this. And I know for a fact there's a lot of Jake that's not doing videos. And I'm like the elder said, he know too. So that's how much division and rebellion is in this fucked up ass, wicked ass place. Why it matters. On this first day in the White House, President Donald Trump granted pardons to almost all of more than 1,500 people convicted for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. And doing so, Trump told the assembled media that he hoped all, I think about a brother made a statement when I was part of the camp. He said he feels through the Spirit that when all the elect are fed up with this place, that's when the place going to go down. But then that vision that brother had, the brother from New Jersey, that was significant because he was talking about garments. We're supposed to have white garments with fringes, because the fringes represent the law and the white garment represent this truth, this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, And he said you had men that was amongst men that were wearing worldly ass clothes, Timberlands and Jordans and, tank tops and, hoodies and jerseys and shit like that. All the shit of the world. And I'm not going to never say I told you so. I'm going to say this much. Again, seek out ye own salvation with fear and trembling. Again, I can be a cheerleader. I can love you from a distance. I know this. If I'd have probably been amongst brothers, the Lord probably would have killed me in the camp. This way, I'm rooting for Israel. Like the elders say. They say, shit, I'm with Israel when they debating against the Christians and against anybody else. I remember Jake used to get offended when, you'll see, Jake fighting Edomite. And I was more so like for the whole combat sport of it. I mean, of course I'm with Jake, but I hate 2/3. I grew up around a lot of niggas, And so it always bothered me when I see nigga traits in the truth. A brother just did a video about that. Brothers got nigga tendencies. I can say I got some nigga tendencies, but I ain't the only one though. In doing so, Trump told the assembled media that he hoped, I pray the Lord, purge me of the nigga tendencies. My nigga tendencies can't affect no other man now. Jay keep on talking about the way I do my videos, my rants, my raves. Well, if it's bothering you so much, why the fuck you keep listening? Like, I'm just confused. I mean, yeah, we supposed to do everything to edification, but in a lot of ways, I wasn't edified. And I'm not saying, so because this happened to me. I never talk down on the truth. Nobody speaks on that. I barely spoke on, again, I constantly keep saying the same thing. I could say so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck is you talking about? I've been judged and scrutinized the whole time by men that's supposed to be so humble and I'm supposed to have so much respect for. But then, I mean, I could go and say some shit about what some elder told me, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I didn't just put him on spot like boom, boom, boom. I literally texted him outside of the situation and, was like, well, damn, because he made a statement, and I'm like, that shit off. So I did it humbly, just like I did it humbly when pretty much Jake. I'm tired of even speaking on it. Know why I think I speak on it? Because the spirit keep bringing it up. I'll be listening to Jake. It's really like scary because it's like Satan trying to really get me to like just follow the elder. Like how you got certain brothers that would always just put the elders videos in the group chat. That's what we follow it, and that's significant. The elders ain't gonna lead you astray. They have been tempered to show us the way. They have seen and experienced and scrutinized and you know what I mean? Talking about vetting certain men and you know what I mean? But again, Salakia, that wasn't the way I was trying to bring this lesson. It's just, again, it goes perfectly with what, this lesson is in regards to. All the division. The Lord is causing division within Israel. I told you it was going to be a shaking. So this scary because you coming into Passover. I realized I was sifted, and I sifted myself. But every time you speak on something, and then want to hear something funny, I'm gonna just speak on one little last personal thing. Then they had the nerve to put me inside the whole set up a date with all the brothers that was like elders or up in positions to have a class where brothers supposed to be around each other. And I'm like, well, damn, if I'm the one that's always going off because I'm too opinionated, why would you even bring me to the fucking thing? Like, I'm confused. So, you know how much of a setup for failure that was? Because I saw the spirits, like, I think a demon jumped on me until I left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fasted for a minute. Like, so I'm like, this shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you better get to fasting soon because they said, Lord, man, he doing all kind of shit. I just did a video of these people with no power, no heat. Lord, fucking shit up. You don't think people die? Every death don't get reported to the news. I remember I worked at this Subway, and a dude, only reason why he found out where his brother was at because where we worked at in the Subway, the news station was attached to it. And he talked to a reporter, was like, yeah, pretty much, so he gave her a story. She went to investigate, come to find out this dude was dead for like the last 2 months. So it makes you think about, what he's doing, this pardoning of, the January 6th individuals is like he building a little personal army. And I can attest to, I've seen him have a little army because he shut down the city. I had to creep, like if you got on the bus, if you was going to anywhere vicinity where they was having them debates, they basically checked, you had to prove who you was. They was checking people with book bags. They was doing all that shit. And I was homeless at the time with like a misdemeanor warrant. So it was really the Lord with me. Like if you didn't see the J Hill exercises, because we see a big ass bomber planes flying over us. It was that, and then you had that shit going on. And I'm talking about you would see Esau on the back of like Jeeps riding around with the M16s or the weaponry, like as if like they riding in a Hubbard or actual like military Jeep, riding around the city, riding over the bridges. And I'm like, damn, So again, he put the spirit on these individuals like Jake brought out, that one guy, the QI shaman, he pretty much said when he get pardoned, the first thing he gonna do is go buy guns. Thanks to DJ Trump. Like the brother went into, he was like, he didn't say he was gonna hug his kids. He didn't say he was gonna go, visit his grandma, kiss his wife. He said, I'm going to buy some guns. That's the spirit coming here. Washington, D.C. police pushed back the supporters of January 6th detainees after it became clear that not all prisoners will be immediately released following President Donald Trump's pardon. And again, it makes you wonder because we like he came into office and signed the paperwork on the 20th. It's the 23rd. Those pardons supposed to immediately went into effect. So this is very significant. Why it matters. On his first day in the White House, President Donald Trump granted pardons to almost all of more than 1,500 people convicted for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. In doing so, Trump told the civil media that he hoped all of the remaining prisoners would be released that night. Right. Because that's why he could pardon, because he's like in a kingship position. What's that? Isaiah chapter 14 talks about the king of Babylon, which the king of Babylon is ultimately the elites. But DJ Trump is the face of that. What's that? Isaiah chapter 19 talks about a wicked ruler. Meaning he gonna bring a lot of distress and pain. Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 10, as the judge of the city is, so are the people. So he coming with this, a lot of people believe that DJ Trump gonna save America, but it's a term called a heel in wrestling. And it just so happens that, DJ Trump was all on WWE with Vince McMahon. Remember, he fought Vince McMahon and all, what I mean? All this, so, which is, Vince McMahon is a huge supporter of the NWO. Why do you think Hollywood Hulk Hogan literally wore the shirt NWO? They put that shit right in your face, and people too simple, too stupid, and too zombified to even see it. In doing so, Trump told the civil media that he had hoped all the remaining prisoners would be released that night. Trump's actions have legitimized the rioters after the FBI and other federal agencies spent tens of millions of dollars hunting them down, or hunting them and prosecuting them for their attempts to stop Congress from confirming Joe Biden's win in the 2020 presidential election. So they said he rigged that, and then brother brought out, like, pretty much they said that he rigged, I guess, the ballots in PA, which, I mean, again, I did a video about how voting is actually like a ritual, Like, at the end of the day, all this shit is witchcraft, That's why the scriptures talk about come up out of this place, And again, it's scary to know, but it's good to know it as well. That's the spirit revealing. You got some being that's still in the world. So that's with Philippians chapter 2 come into play even more so. Like literally all you can really do is seek out your own salvation. You're supposed to be a brother. A brother's still a brother until he's not a brother. I mean, at first it kind of hurt because, but then I thought about it. I didn't do everything scriptural. But, the reason why I did it the way I did it, because if pretty much, Jake was exempt from all other type of shit, and nobody ever stood up and said nothing with a situation like that. I mean, I don't know because I didn't sit it and let it play out, but at the same time, it's like Jake was so scared to say any little thing. I mean, and Jake once in a while told me, like, I asked what me and Jake was talking about. He was like, how did he say? He said, I don't say nothing because the scriptures talk about judge not another man's servant. But yet still, when judgment come, you want me to believe that that's the Lord behind the judgment. Like, ultimately, is the Lord with this situation. I recognize that. But I chose to fall in the hands of the living power before I destroyed myself. And it's funny because, again, this is one of the reasons what that Brother's Dream was about, is why I did what I did. I can be the corrupt one, but it's definitely corruption in this thing because we in a corrupt-ass place. Scriptures talk about gather all the good and the bad. Several online videos show supporters, and I will say this last thing, and what's disheartening, when you in the spirit of death, you feel like you amongst men that you talk about this brotherhood, but you don't feel like you a brother. And Jake heard me say that shit. So I guess if more Jake would have experienced that, maybe more would have been done. Because I guarantee you, I heard leadership say certain shit, and that's when it was voiced and it was listened to because that man said it. So ultimately, everything that happens, I know is of the Lord. The Lord took me through all those bumps and bruises and let Jake do this, do that. You know what I mean? I seen pride within the camp when I told Jake the whole thing that I was warning him about literally came to pass, and then Jake ain't say shit, just looked at me. I guess he was embarrassed, but I didn't need to tell you I told you, so I just shook my head like goofy. That's to just show you how Jake really don't really believe. Like, you talk about Jake is prophets and you believe, you know what I mean? Like, Jake really don't believe that shit because otherwise you would, take heed to more stuff. The elders sit up there and say, "Don't go do this, don't go do that," and Jake's still doing the shit. See, the thing is, Jake always thought, "Oh, I wanted the position." No, because I know it's a judgment if you fuck that up. Why would I want that? If I wanted a position so bad, I would have never left the camp. I had a position. What are you talking about? That I didn't even expect to get. I wasn't really trying to, like the Lord put me onto that. And a woman told me that. She was like, "That's not theirs to take." She was like, "The Lord gave you that." That's why with certain shit would happen, I remember Jake told me that. It ain't about your position, but then at the same time, you still got your position. I'm like, it ain't about a position. Because when I'm trying to take care of the church, y'all talking about is off. The deacon's supposed to be involved with the church. The goings on in the church, the things that can affect the church. And I'm going off when you done brought this shit in my household. This woman talking about making the whole ministry look like a bunch of fucking demons and ain't nothing said about it. Like, what the fuck? Hey, again, now I don't have to, what I mean? Like, all I can do is destroy myself or save myself, But I want Jake to know, Jake reached out first. And like I said again, I ain't no fucking demon. I met that man family. I don't want to see that man destroyed, but I notice a lot of Jake don't give a fuck what happened to me and mine, though. So is we all really a brotherhood because we under the same doctrine, or is it just a bunch of niggas mixed with a bunch of believers? I don't know. I know the Lord about to come fuck this place up, so all I can do is seek out my own salvation. I'm about to end this lesson because I'm just rambling. And again, like I said, because it's so disheartening and hurting, and you know what I mean? Like, nobody took the time to listen. And that's what, like, and I know Jake don't give a fuck because everybody going through something, but at the same time, a brother's supposed to be there for when you low in the spirit, right? All I keep hearing is Jake, "Oh yeah, I don't want to hear that. It's not edifying." What the fuck you keep listening for then? Fuck. That's retarded. But take the time to think about it. It says in a later video, police sergeant was seen telling the woman that prison authorities would not be releasing all of the park detainees that night and that he was waiting to hear more information. But like I said, it's a presidential decree. So what do you need to wait to hear more for? That's how you know this place is really over with. And like I said, a big tell or a big side of the show is over with is what happens with this whole, pretty much kicking out, the children that's born to legal aliens. Because that's, like I said, a part of the Constitution or the part of the Bill of Rights, rather. So, it's like, if he able to do that, which he's not supposed to be able to do that, but if he's able to get that off, that show you that, yeah, he a dictator. It says a man close by shouted that it was abuse of the prison regulations, which they've already been doing, because, like I say, when CV happened, you got certain rules set up in place when you get incarcerated, how you got like 90 days to be indicted and charged and pretty much sentence if you don't sign away your rights or whatnot. If you don't sign away your rights, you got 90 days to be indicted and sentenced. If the grand jury haven't indicted you and whatnot, they got to throw out the case. But because of CV, they pretty much changed all that. So this shit is not the old America. That happened. That been since years ago. That was like a shit. That changed during CV. So this is going to cause a lot more division, and it's going to cause that Isaiah chapter 19, the Egyptian versus Egyptian. This is the book of Mark chapter 3, and I will start at verse 24, and it reads, Salakia. Mark. I thought I put Mark. Salakia. Bear with me, please. It's the book of Mark, chapter 3, and verse 23, and it reads, And he called unto them, so like he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Verse 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. So once the kingdom is divided, that's the beautiful thing. Again, I left the camp to seek out my own salvation, but I never left the truth. There's a lot of opinions floating around. I got a lot of opinions as well. But again, even if I'm not a part of the elect, I pray that the Lord, I got the opinion that the elders and apostles, they, are the prophets. Like the brother said, I never had no dream about any other camp. When I first came into the truth, I was homeless and I was listening to a multitude of different camps. But when I heard the elders, I knew that was the truth. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't hear the elders first. I heard being of that's up under the elders. That's why certain camps I listened to. That's why I was always giving shout outs to certain camps. But then when I heard the elders, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the truth. You got to ultimately understand this is of the Lord, even the division. But, the Lord is about to give us a kingdom that basically the gates of hell pretty much ain't going to be able to overcome, because it's a spiritual kingdom. The house of David, the house of David, Scriptures talk about the house of Saul waxing worse and worse, and the house of David pretty much waxing stronger and stronger. And we watch it, Israel wax stronger and stronger because due to the fact of look at how hard brothers push it. Yeah, you got some Jake that's not in the same spirit, but you got, for the most part, like the elder said, he could throw out names, but he's not going to create a spirit of jealousy. No. He gonna let the Lord go ahead and do the division, and that's scary for that brother to have that dream right before the Passover. Like he put it out there when the Passover was. That's terrifying. Because he said it was a lot of brothers, you know what I mean? He said it was a lot of men, and certain brothers, basically you had to go up and basically receive, not a crowd, but, you pretty much, it was like a war. He said to the point where he was given love by the elder, where he was given a holy kiss, which was beautiful. He said, but then it was a lot of men that was just standing around looking worldly to the motherfucker. And Passover like a butt. What, hold on, because you might as well look at it like, well, okay, so what, like a butt at 3 weeks away? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 14. Because again, once, these Edomites, as you already know, these Edomites have a particular type of spirit. The Lord seemed like they created and put this mindset in their thoughts, because they go really tear this bitch down due to the fact that they thinking, oh yeah, you taking away my liberties. And that's what this devil want. I was looking at that Trump meme coin, and I did a video of it when I first seen it. And, it's talking about they put that spirit in there to get people thinking that they got an opportunity to make money. But in actuality, it's all a wealth grab. It's some sleight of hand type shit, as well as still promoting this beast system. Because they said pretty much it didn't get up to just 10 billion. He said that, well, what I heard, they said that coin got up to like 500 billion. Now the same guy, the pastor that created or basically was at Trump's inauguration, he got a cryptocurrency. Donald Trump's wife got a cryptocurrency. Like I said, so if you can't see that that's some bullshit, yeah, the Lord really, you'd be like that broad that sit up there and basically got scammed thinking she was really talking to Brad Pitt. And I did a video on that. I was like, well, damn, that's how a lot of these people that's going to get duped by Donald Trump and by these false pastors going to be. How the fuck do you got to send Brad Pitt money? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11, strong delusion so they can believe in a lie. And I don't feel sorry for her. I could kind of understand, she was going through some shit. She get a divorce. I've seen shit like that happen. Catching hell and then Satan come while you already catching hell. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Cause she going through a divorce. And they just get like 10,000. I mean, they scammed her out of like $800,000, like her life savings at the end of the world. But guess what? She didn't need it no way because they about to change over the system. So the Lord was just getting her ready for it a little bit earlier than everybody else. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning mourning of destruction. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. I was listening to a video from a brother in Chicago, and he played a snippet of Edomite sitting up there talking about, waiting for Donald Trump to make America great again because of the fact, these niggas and these spics. He said it like really like harshly. Pretty much they taking jobs. Basically he showed you his nature. So I sent it to a couple women, and that kind of like made them. I mean, made them, like damn, peace and safety. Like you need to get up out of that mindset because destruction. You rather be prepared in the mind and in the spirit for the destruction as opposed to thinking, in the days of Noah, eating and drinking. I was thinking again, it ain't surprising, you got men in the truth. I heard a brother say, you got Jake that was offended by the elders talking about don't go out to the clubs and whatnot. Like, what? The fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong, like Jake that went out and, ain't nothing like going out with brothers too, Certain brothers got a certain spirit and then, but at the same time, like if you can't see the times you in, why the fuck would you? They literally they gonna be doing T attacks. What the fuck? So again, I don't know. Put it like this: I don't want to be judged with nobody, and if I'm the demon, I don't want nobody get judged with me. How about that? That's how much love I got for Jake. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and evading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand their power. And that's a perfect precept to end it with. I mean, like I said, they not even following what this man said, and he the president. So expect more division and judgment. So I will end the lesson there. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Simple Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo-Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, by Hashem Kodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquath out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in a land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah, Wath Lababah.